Like, why go street level?
Well, Black Panther was street level when Daredevil went missing after a certain time. So he took over Daredevil's Hell's Kitchen route.
And Daredevil went to was it San Francisco?
This was when Daredevil disappeared. It was right after what was the one where the Beast took over him?
Shit. It was a terrible storyline. I don't remember the name.
You know, where it was like the walled city in Shadowland. It was right after Shadowland, I think, that that Black Panther took over. Coming at you from Comic Quest in sunny Southern California, this is The Keeg. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera, and we have a lot of geek news to cover. I was sick last week, so actually, really, everybody was sick last week, right, Jake? You were sick last week, I was sick last week. I'm sure both of you guys are or were sick. So we got a lot to cover. I brought my two friends. We got Amanda Barker right here to my left.
Hello.
Your guys is right. Amanda, how you doing today?
Good. I'm doing good.
Yeah? Were you sick earlier?
No, but I was moving, which is just as bad.
Just as bad as being sick. Except you're setting up for something better.
That's true.
As opposed to being sick when you're just in bed.
Yeah.
Not doing
it was a productive, terrible time.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah. And then we got Matt Holland all the way there.
What's up?
Matt, how you doing?
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, were you sick?
No, but I had a terrible bout of like allergies going on with lots of terrible, gross, mucusy things.
My allergies flared up a couple days ago, and it's still like my sinuses are still weird.
It's awful. Thank God for steroids.
Yeah. Are you taking steroids?
Oh hell yeah!
You look buff, dude. You looking good.
Hell yeah.
Trying to get that Marvel movie physique.
Who isn't?
They need more Matts. They have too many Chris's.
They do. They don't have any Dimitris.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
More diversity.
I
That's the answer to it.
Yeah.
More
2018 Marvel.
It's
Yeah.
2018.
We need some Matts and
Give
Dimitris.
it that.
I had to
diversity.
think about whether there are there any Amandas?
Not that I know of, no.
Oh.
Then again, like, what actresses are Amanda Peet?
Amanda Bynes.
Amanda Bynes.
I was about to say Amanda Bynes. Quite the list.
Isn't there like an Amanda Seyfried? No.
Oh, yeah.
Amanda Seyfried. Seyfried. Yeah.
I just call her Bubble Eyes.
Yeah. She's cute though.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
But none of them are in the Marvel movie universe, so you could be the first.
Yes.
Another big comic book movie that has been announced. I don't know how you guys feel about this. The New Gods. Characters like Darkseid, Orion, Mr. Miracle, Big Barda. They will have a movie directed by Ava DuVernay, who's coming off of Wrinkle in Time. How do you guys feel about that? Like, Matt, did you see Wrinkle in Time?
I have not seen Wrinkle in Time. I haven't read the book either.
Yeah,
so
I read the book back when I was in like third grade.
It would be hard for me to judge if like this new one is good. I could judge it based on like just a movie, but I don't know if it's like a good adaptation of like the material. So I don't know how well she does with like working with somebody else's stuff.
Yeah. She was originally tapped to do Black Panther.
She was supposed to do Black Panther.
Right?
Right.
And then when she left, Ryan Coogler came aboard. She was afraid that she wasn't going to be given the freedom.
Right.
That,
when you
but
work
she-
with
but
Marvel,
Ryan-
you have to play by their rules.
That being
otherwise
said,
you're gone.
that being said, Marvel's changed a little bit recently.
Right.
I think after
Warner Brothers has not.
Warner Brothers
has not.
Oh yeah, that's right. So why is she on Warner Brothers and not Marvel? Because I mean,
She's kicking her own ass for that one.
yeah.
It should have been me.
But I mean, good for Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fruitvale Station is next on my to watch list. I think it's on Netflix.
It is fucking fantastic.
It's so sad.
Between that and Creed and Black Panther, he's like 3 for 3.
Yeah.
All his movies are like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes and all done well, like financially.
And it's all Michael B. Jordan.
Exactly. That's his muse.
Yeah.
If he doesn't
So
have Michael
good.
B, then it just all goes to shit.
Yeah.
Watch, it'll happen. His fourth movie won't have Michael B. Jordan in it, and it'll just be like all, make $10 at the box office.
Yeah. He needs to find more muses.
Exactly.
Is really what it is. Two recent trailers that were released in the last couple weeks. Avengers Infinity War was one of them. They just released the final trailer for it. How did you guys feel about it? Did you guys learn did we learn anything new? Are they repeating the same footage? I don't know.
Honestly, I don't feel like I'm really weird about trailers. Like, I didn't watch the first one. Like, I have this weird avoidance of trailers. I didn't see the Han Solo trailer until I was in a theater and it was like put in front of me. I fucking love Star Wars. I don't know why I didn't like watch that immediately.
Yeah.
Really weird. So I actually didn't see the first like teaser trailer for Infinity War.
Okay, the first one.
And but then I did see this one.
Okay.
And like, so having said that, like, I didn't even feel like I saw new footage.
Yeah.
Like,
I
might have seen like, because I feel like there were 3 teasers. I might be wrong. Maybe I did
a Super Bowl one.
There was a Super Bowl trailer. Yeah.
I don't know if I saw that one.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't
I
the
just
longest thing.
somewhere I saw a trailer somewhere, and like I saw like a 20-second version, and then this one was longer, and I didn't even feel that much different. But then again, trailers you're not supposed to give that much away, and it was sort of just a glamour shot of all their A-list stars, and they're like, here's Chris Evans, and here's Sebastian Stan, and here is Star-Lord sassing Tony Stark, because that's what you're here for. Here you go.
Yeah, the whole Star-Lord Tony Stark thing. I mean, it was funny. I wanna see the interplay between like the Guardians people and like
It'll be really interesting to see
like
them
the
on
Avengers.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I have so many thoughts about it. So, like, Doctor Strange as a movie, like, I didn't really care for. Like, I didn't think it was that great. And I don't want a Doctor Strange 2. But if that means
You
put
go
him
and
in...
get it.
What?
You go and get
no,
it.
they have not. They have not officially declared they're going to do Doctor Strange 2.
They will.
They won't. I don't think so.
A bunch of mystery movies for release. Everyone's anticipating it's in one of them.
I don't think so. I think they're going to keep him in Avengers, and that's fine. I'm fine
appreciate-
with putting Doctor Strange in the Avengers because it's a niche that he needs to fill. I don't want to see a Doctor Strange 2.
He's like the creepy like guy in the shadows who's kind of like, dealing with all the, metaphysical stuff.
I appreciate how like his role in Thor, where like he has like a little 2-minute scene where he's helpful.
Yeah.
Like I think that's kind of really in character for like who Doctor Strange is.
Yeah.
Like I also love Doctor Strange, so like I would be there for like a Doctor Strange 2, but if it also didn't happen, I would also be happy with him doing that role.
Yeah.
Where like they need like a magic thing, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, Doc, can you like teleport us here?" And like he's just kind of there for like a minute, and like meanwhile he's like trying to shove tentacles in a door, and he's like, "Give me a second," and then they like have this little escapade, and then he's like, "Okay, here's your thing.
Yeah.
Go have fun." Like I liked that little. Like I feel like that's a very good
Use of him.
personification of his role in the universe.
I would like that Doctor Strange. I didn't like the movie because it was just so like now there's that mirror thing and like it's like no, he should be about tentacles and trolls and goblins and like that's Doctor Strange to me. Let him open a door and end up in like Vanaheim or like which I just realized it sounds like Anaheim. But like I'm just saying like the other realms of Asgard and whatnot.
Yeah, it's definitely a good
like
catalyst for things.
right. And so but I just didn't like the movie. I didn't think it went far enough and it wasn't interesting enough to me. I guess we'll see about Infinity War. Luckily we don't have to wait an extra week. It's now April 27th. Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Did you guys see the first Fantastic Beasts?
I actually didn't.
No. It was whatever.
I did, and
I liked it,
was
but
okay.
Howard the Duck fell.
Oh,
No. Okay. It was more like mediocre Beasts. I don't know. It didn't wow me in any sense really. Like I don't care about this crocodile hunter wizard guy.
Yeah.
Like
This new one looks good though.
yeah.
But also
looks
it's
super cool.
they're tracking down Grindelwald. I feel like there's a point in this new movie. There wasn't really a point in Fantastic Beasts. It was the beasts are loose or something, right?
That was basically it.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And so there wasn't a point until they like explained the point at the end of the first. So they my
There
biggest
was the loose plot with, like the anti-magic
yeah.
users.
But like yeah.
Oh yeah.
By the way, Jake
racism
Jake is speaking off camera.
yeah.
Nobody can see you wave, Jake.
He waved.
Nobody wants to see you wave, Jake. No, but here's my big thing. Dumbledore is young in this. He's Jude Law,
He's Jude
right?
Law!
Why is he still getting other people to work on his behalf? Why isn't
he's
he out there
lazy.
kicking ass and then he's like, oh, I'm too old. No, he's young enough, right?
Yeah.
So what's he doing?
He's busy? I don't know.
Teaching his class.
And why is he dressed like a regular dude? Like, when I think of Dumbledore, I think of, like,
Robes.
the stereotypical, like, wizard.
Yeah, but that's because he's old.
But, like, still.
Look,
I don't give a shit
your
anymore.
grandparents were young once.
At what point do we graduate from regular street clothes to, like, full-on, like, wizard shit? Like,
Right.
does it happen when you hit, like, 55?
I don't
like,
know.
Retirement age? Or
There's no continuity.
Your beard reaches a certain length.
Yeah, there's no continuity in the movie universe for like robes versus normal Muggle clothes.
I always thought it was the people that grew up entirely in the wizarding world wore those clothes.
Yeah,
and so since Dumbledore lived in that world, that's what he wore.
But he traveled the world, didn't he?
That makes sense.
Didn't he, like-
But I feel like when you're home, you wear that.
Yeah.
And like that was his thing. Was like when he went
His
to
robe with nothing underneath.
Yes. And like when you go into like the Muggle world, you dress like a Muggle, but it's not like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
In this new Wizarding World franchise.
My question
doing.
is, though, is J.K. Rowling going to put her money where her mouth is and make Dumbledore super gay? In
No.
this?
Supposedly in the movie, they don't. Maybe they'll allude to it, but it's not going to be a plot point.
Boo.
Which is lame. So moving on. Big show that came out on Netflix a week and a half ago or so. We were supposed to do it last week, but I was sick. Jessica Jones season 2. I finished it. Matt, you finished it?
Yep.
I got 3 episodes.
You got 3 episodes.
I did.
You had 10 days.
I had to go to a trade show.
Ugh. You should have traded for a life.
Whoa, sick burn.
What? What'd you think of the first 3 episodes?
Okay, Jessica Jones and Daredevil and Stranger Things are all tied for like my favorite like TV show or like favorite Netflix TV show. I don't know if I need that qualifier. That might just be my favorite TV show. But
Okay.
Jessica Jones is definitely up there as a favorite of mine. And I realized that it was probably because of Kilgrave.
Yeah.
This season, I wasn't as interested. I really liked the first season because of how traumatic it was for her, and like to see the trauma and like the it was really personal. Not that this season wasn't personal in its ways, but like I don't know, the mind games and how that like ruined her emotionally and like shaped her being and her like who she is was so fascinating to me, and that's what I loved.
Yeah.
And like it's also like relating to that and like seeing that and like being able to just like have that solid portrayal of like intensity was super cool.
Yeah.
And so this season it felt more like a case like that also happened to relate to her somehow.
Yeah.
And so like it wasn't necessarily focused on her. And I did feel a little detached, at least at the beginning. I can't, like I said, I only saw the first 3 episodes, so I can't speak for the rest of the season.
And I mean, I spoiled episode 6's reveal to
Sure,
you.
yeah, I'm not terribly picky about spoilers in this case, but yeah, so it felt more distant. Like they still talked about her parents and like where she came from.
Yeah.
It was more of a side note.
Well, you'll see as you watch the series.
Okay,
Basically, they go halfway with everything, and then they just kind of it doesn't matter, right? Like I feel like with IGH, the payoff, Matt. There was not much payoff. Like
we don't learn anything about them. Really.
I was expecting IGH to be this like criminal science organization that like just produced powered people, and they're like, oh no, there's just
a guy in his basement, basically.
Yeah,
and he made 2 people.
You mentioned Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It just had its 100th episode, well, 101st episode. I've been watching it the whole way through just to break it down for you guys. It starts off kind of lame and cheesy. Like that first season, it starts off lame and cheesy, but it's around the time where Captain America Winter Soldier comes out, and there's a big Hydra reveal where like S.H.I.E.L.D. is Hydra, and like they do that, and that makes the show really good at the end of like the second half of season 1. And then season 2 deals with Inhumans, and it was kind of lame. Season 3 kind of like brings it back a little bit. There's a lot of darker qualities. Season 4, they bring in Ghost Rider, and then now in this season 5, they've been doing some really like heavy shit. and it's really good. And if you guys gave up in the first couple episodes, I'd recommend like getting back into it. I don't know. 101 episodes now.
I did get through at least a season. I think I was in season 2 or so.
The Inhuman season was horrible, though.
I don't think I ever got to the Inhumans.
Go into season like 3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
As long as you know the Inhumans are there.
That they exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know? There's a lot of people that die at the end of season 2, and it's just like, oh, no. And then but basically season 2 kind of stutters because it's building up very slowly to who Daisy Johnson is. And the big reveal is like, she's an Inhuman. But they just slowly, like, you know it, and you're like, get to the point.
Yeah.
You know?
Say it.
Yeah. They didn't say she was Quake until that point. Because, well, Daisy Johnson, sorry. In the beginning, she's Sky Summers. And then she finds out, oh, her real name is Daisy Johnson. Quake. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Watch it if you want. I don't know. I guess
That should be the tagline.
Yeah.
Tagline.
Graphic in there. It's like user reviews. Like,
Actually, a good place to jump on is really season 4. You could start with Ghost Rider because then because they move it. They move it an hour later.
Great
So
ad.
like people are getting ripped apart in that like season because like they move it to a 10 o'clock time slot instead of a 9 o'clock.
We're gonna do grown-up shit.
Well,
now.
it starts
We're gonna tear
off.
people
It
apart.
starts off with like
Putting
with
kids to
Daisy
bed.
like putting on her pants and like you get like a panty shot. Like
Wow.
you know, it's adult now. So Ghost Rider was pretty cool though.
TVMA now.
Yeah. Well, they weren't, but they were 10 o'clock ABC.
Do you remember when Goosebumps used to be rated GB7 before the show started?
It wasn't GB.
I swear to God, I'm not making this up.
It was TVY7.
No. There's
Before that came out?
Before TV ratings were a thing.
Yeah.
There was a dude that came on like the show and announced, he's like, oh,
Goosebumps maybe is rated GB7 because it may be too spooky for children under 7.
Oh, that's right. That was
and it would have like this like slimy looking like font like on the screen and shit. And it was the funniest thing ever. Like,
that brought up a funny video thing that I watched on YouTube about Ghost Rider, the old TV show Ghost Rider. Not Ghost Rider, but Ghost Writer.
the PBS show.
Yeah, the PBS show.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah. But I will talk about it next time. Final thing I just wanted to bring up is Tomb Raider is out, and I haven't seen it. I know that, Amanda, you kind of want to see it?
Yeah,
or you do want to see it?
I do. I haven't seen it either, but I've been busy, but I would like to see it.
Yeah.
It was interesting to me. Then again, it's also, I am a woman, and there's not always a ton of super strong women heroes. And so what stood out to me about seeing that was like, oh my gosh, it's a woman hero. I do know it's a video game movie, and video game movies are kind of hit and miss.
Yeah.
So I can't speak to the writing and what they choose to do with it and how they handled the game franchise. But just the idea of just like, oh, here's an adventure movie with a woman. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Like,
my thing is that, like, I just feel I haven't heard too much praise, like, leading up to Tomb Raider. And it just brings me back to, like, kind of something that I threw out earlier was basically when I was a kid, there was Wizard magazine, and it was, like, all about, like, comic books and movies and video games and video game movies and whatnot. And back in the day, like, kids would get excited about anything related to video games or comic book movies. And now there's an oversaturation of it all. That do video game movies matter anymore?
I think good storytelling in general matters, whether it comes from a video game like Tomb Raider or a novel like A Wrinkle in Time or a comic book like The Avengers. It's just, as long as there's good storytelling going on, it doesn't matter. Good story is a good story. What I think they got to be careful about is making sure the good elements that are in like its original like format, like if it's like a video game, how are you going to make up for the lack of like interactivity with your movie?
Yeah.
Like there's got to be something to boost it up, like story wise or like acting wise or whatever it is, to make up for the fact that you are not the person like interacting with the story anymore. Like
Yeah.
how do you make it interesting now that you're not like in it, so to speak?
That's a really valid point.
2-hour-long movie versus a 20-hour video game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like the whole draw of video games is the self-insert that you can be Laura Croft.
Right.
You know, you can be Nathan Drake. You can be these people, and you get to interact in their world through them. And so they're kind of a placeholder.
Yeah.
And once you actually develop them and give them characteristics, it can be difficult because they are supposed to be a blank slate because you're supposed to put yourself there.
Yeah.
I think, Assassin's Creed wasn't a great movie, but I thought they were so close because the whole concept of the film was, oh man, I forgot his name.
Wait, so
Michael
just
Fassbender?
to clarify,
No,
just to clarify, the concept of Assassin's Creed is not Scott Stapp running around and murdering people, right?
no, it's just.
I've
the
never
fact
played
that-
it. I don't know.
Yeah, but like, who's the guy that's the?
I don't know any character names.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
this
just know
is
Michael
awesome.
Fassbender.
No, in the game, I want to say it's Miles, but I really doubt that that's correct. Desmond Miles. Ha! I was close. Desmond Miles. Desmond Miles is a character who has personality and everything, and they're tapping into his memories, and you play as his ancestor through his memories. So they found a way to have a character that they can that you don't actually play as because you're playing in his thoughts.
Yeah.
So
Playing a dude
you're
disguised as another.
Yeah.
yeah, so like you can fully develop Desmond Miles as a character and give him life and give him story and write him, but then still give the player a blank slate, which was the ancestor that you play as. And then you watch the cinematics with Desmond, who you get to know and you get to care about, and then you play as the blank slate ancestor that you didn't know, that he doesn't know, that you follow their life path, which they still did have typical video game, character development, but
Yeah.
again, more blank slate than Desmond.
Yeah. But the movie didn't do it.
Not in the same way, which I thought was stupid because they literally had their like.
I'm just not excited. Like I know that there are good movies that are not Marvel related, obviously, right? Those
Yeah.
Academy Award winning movies and blah blah blah
Oh,
blah.
sure, yeah.
It's not about that, and people will still see those movies.
Yeah.
Not everyone's just seeing Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
I just feel like when it comes to those intellectual properties, nobody's handling them correctly except for Marvel
Yeah.
and Star Wars
They're doing it
and
the
Harry
right
Potter. You know what I mean? Like those are the big three, right? Those are really the big three franchises, right? It's Harry Potter, Star Wars, and Marvel. And Harry Potter and Star Wars are not even coming close to Marvel.
Everybody's trying to emulate what they have so far.
Yeah, but nobody can keep up. And
Exactly.
DC is so far behind. Like, will they ever bring it back? I don't know. They got
Shazam not suck.
Shazam is coming out. Yeah, like I don't know. I think these are all great thoughts. If you guys are out there listening or watching, feel free to tweet us #KeegTalk with your opinions. Is anyone looking forward to these movies that are not Marvel? I don't know. I don't
Do
know.
other movies that are not Marvel exist?
Do they?
Until they can prove to be good and worth my time.
Yeah. I think that the burden of proof falls on them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to exist.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's all the time that we have today. I want you guys out there to feel free, like, comment, subscribe. On our social media, we have Facebook. It's facebook.com/The Keeg. We're on Instagram and Twitter at The Keeg Show. And also, again, #Keeg Talk if you guys want to talk to us. We're now on iTunes. We're on Google Play. We're on SoundCloud. That's our unabridged podcast. But we also have our abridged vidcast show on YouTube at youtube.com/The Keeg. So if you want to see our pretty faces and you have not seen what we look like, you can on YouTube, so feel free. Next time on The Keeg, next week, we're going to go to WonderCon, so that's something to look forward to. This episode will probably come out a couple days before WonderCon, but we're going to be there interviewing people. Feel free, come out. You might be able to see us if you guys are watching. Once again, thank you to Amanda Barker. Amanda, what do you got going on? Where can we see you next? Blah, 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 blah.
You can actually follow me at Robin's Feather. That's my Instagram. I'm also an artist. But you can also actually see me at WonderCon. I will work for Cryptozoic Entertainment. I will be at our booth. It's the easiest booth to remember because it's LEET. 1337. Booth 1337.
Did you guys plan that?
I have no idea, but I would like to say yes.
It was all Amanda.
Yes.
Yeah.
All me. But yeah, so that'll be great. So you can actually see me there, and I can tell you about a whole bunch of really cool games and collectibles. We have a lot of WonderCon exclusives. We have the DC license. There's a lot of really cool DC stuff, as well as some Street Fighter stuff. Yeah, stop by, say hi, come check it out. I'll give you all my spiels.
Cool. And thank you, Matt Holland, for coming on the show. Where can we see you next?
You can find me chained to my computer writing my master's thesis about comic books and literacy. When I'm not doing that, I'll be at WonderCon spending money and not making money, unfortunately.
Yeah. Thanks again, guys, for coming out on the show. Thank you guys out there for watching the show or listening to the show. Once again, I'm your host, Dimithri Perera, and this has been The Keeg.